I don't know. I think what we do for a living is to really learn how not to judge and how to understand so many realities and understand that we are all kind of the same, and it hurts the same to all of us, and it makes us happy, the same things. There are specific things that are different from one to another, but basically we are all kind of flesh and blood and spirit, and I guess judging less and trying to understand more. Mm-hmm. And that's what this job does, I think. Hello, how are you? It's a long movie. Are you okay?
Yeah. Extra long because the time changed, so it was really 3 hours.
Right.
Thank you so much for being here, and again, congratulations on as a fan of the Dune series. Please thank Denis for not messing it up, because especially when you have a part 2. I actually think I like part 2 better than part 1.
Me too. I think both are great, but I think part 2 is where the real meal happened. Yes. And the appetizers were on Dune first, I think.
Absolutely. This is an audience of your fellow actors.
Hello, fellow actors and actresses. How are you? Good to see you.
So I usually love to go back to the beginning, and I was going to ask what your first job as an actor was, but you started young.
I started when I was 6 years old because my mom was an actress and my grandparents were actors and the parents of my grandparents were actors. To the point, I'm always saying this, but it's true, to the times where actors were not allowed to be buried on sacred land. Wow. Yeah, wow, because we were like prostitutes and homosexuals and a little bit of monsters.
Wow.
Still, we are kind in front of some people's eyes, right? Oh, an actor. Yeah. But it's okay. It's okay. So I was there, and then my mom, I was doing this TV show, and the kid didn't come, and he said, come, get dressed. You're gonna be in front of the camera. Okay. And then I went there, and the thing was it was a period piece, 16th century, and 2 guys will come to me like musketeers with some guns of the time to play with me, and I will play with them, but I start to cry. And the director, which is a legend called Fernando Fernan Gomez, said, "Oh, it's okay. Let him cry. He's a dramatic actor." And it's true. Since that moment, I cry in every movie. I mean, everything that I've done, I'm always crying. I did a musical with a crocodile for kids. I cry there as well.
Well, I am curious, at what point did you realize you wanted to do this for a career? Because I don't know if you were just having fun for a while, or there has to be a moment.
I try not to do it because I've seen my mother and I see what it means to be an actress, and it's tough, as we all know. It's tough, and the phone didn't ring in the day where there was only hard line, so you were looking at the phone.
Yeah.
And the refrigerator was empty. And and she will do many other jobs, and because she was separated, my parents divorced when I was born, and he was not very present, so we were all, my brother, sister, and I, being taking care of my mom, but she's an actress, and back in the 60s in Spain after the dictatorship, so it's a lot of moving elements that made her life kind of difficult. So I didn't want to get in there.
Yeah.
No. I studied painting. I studied belle arts and painting and drawing, but I had it in me, I guess. And I started to do some work as an extra in movies for 3 years to keep on, to be able to pay for my classes, my painting classes. And then they will give me one line, and I don't want to say a line. I don't know how to say a line. 2 lines, but they will pay more if you have a line, as you know. I'll say the line. And then one day have like 15 lines. And say, oh, fuck. And then I sat down with my mom, and she told me, the only thing that I ask you, Javier, is to be respectful with everybody, because this is a real serious job, and you are part of a team. You are not special. Whether you have 15 lines or 1 word, you are part of the team, and make sure that you are you feel respected, but you respect everybody around you. I say, okay, Mom. And that's the thing that I keep on doing, trying to do every day.
That's amazing. Well, again, congratulations on Dune 2. I know there are so many people who are passionate about these books, but I think you were one of them, right? You read them when you were young.
Yes, and I sat down with Denis Villeneuve, and he told me, I have this movie, Dune. And I was like, Dune, yeah? And there is this role, and I thought, Stilgar. Like, what role? Yeah, he's the leader of the Fremen. Yeah. Stilgar? Yeah, you know? Fuck yeah. Of course I know. But I pretend to be hard to get. Like, yeah, I read that shit. Yeah, it's not bad. And I was like, whoa. And then here I am.
But it really was, you always want Stilgar, not, I mean, like.
No, yeah, I didn't want anything. I would have never in a million years played the sandworm.
I was just going to say.
No, but I said to him, okay, because he told me, I'm gonna hire you for a movie that you're not in. I said, okay, cool. That sounds fantastic, which was the first one.
Yes.
But if there is a second movie, you'll be more present. Is that okay? Yes. I want to work with you. I don't care if it's one scene. I want to be part of that. Again, being part of the process, being part of the team. And then when they told me, okay, there might be a second one, I said, okay, but I told you and you promised me to make me write a sandworm because that's the only thing that I'm asking for. If there's a second one, I want to be on top of a sandworm.
Yeah.
And he did.
Wow. I was thinking when you were in the first one, it was a bit of a leap of faith because you didn't know if there would be a second, but that wasn't an issue for you.
No, of course. And as a movie itself, Dune first, it's a great movie. And there was a moment where when it came out, COVID hit and it was directly to the platform. So of course there was no hope for a second one.
No.
And I was fine. Like, I don't care. I mean, I've been part of that, which is a great thing.
I am curious, though, why that role appealed to you the most. I mean, looking at Dune 1, I wouldn't want to be in all those prosthetics, for one thing. But was there something special about him that spoke to you?
I think the same thing that I felt related to when I read the book back in the 80s when I was 17, 18. The idea of injustice, the idea of fighting for what you know is right, to be in the right side of history, to know that you are suppressed by a power that you have to fight against, and that's something that hasn't changed. And so I guess that plus his humor, which I felt on the page in the book and on the script, but we have to take a leap of faith with that. Like, and I said to Denis, in this second one, I think we have to give some room to the humor because everything is so serious. Mm-hmm. It's so important that we have to make the audience remember that we're talking about real people.
Yeah.
And he was brave to encourage me to go there.
Yeah. I was actually, I was like, is it okay for me to laugh when he's like, only a true prophet would deny they're a prophet? Weirdly timely as well. How much, did you have to do a lot of prep for the first one versus, coming back for the second one? I have to imagine it was like 10 times more prep, or maybe you stayed in shape that whole time.
Yeah, but I gained weight. So it's funny because the first one finished and then the second one starts and I am like 15 pounds heavier.
Really?
Yeah. I said, I don't know, Denis, maybe I ate one, I don't know, something in the meantime. But I know because they were trying to make me fit on the same still suit.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to go one extra large.
No, I feel your pain.
Yeah, I know, under the heat. But no, I guess what I tried to work on, it was the way of speaking and this Arab feeling and this way of belonging to the landscape, which is when you see those beautiful Jordan and Abu Dhabi deserts, you have to really, imagine what it will mean to live there. That's the only thing that I was trying to cope with, like to belong to the place.
I always, when I watch these movies, well, when I watch the movies, I'm thinking about the movies, but then later I think about like, I just hate sand. It gets in everything.
It's true.
Yeah. I would just the daily logistics of that must be
lots of sand when you go back home. Lots of sand in the shower.
Still finding it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I took a Hawaiian vacation a year ago, and I swear I'm still finding things in my suitcase. So I can't even imagine. About the still suit, though, I am so curious about that. Did they have to? It looks heavy. It
looks heavy, but it's not as heavy as it looks.
Okay.
It's lighter, but still it's thick and it's hot, and it was challenging for. And as I was telling you before, I started as an extra. I'm always paying attention in every production how they treat extras. The way they treat extras is the way a real production is, speaking volumes of itself. And in this one, they were very careful, and they were very much on top of everyone, making sure that they had water, shade, and they were fresh. Of course, there were many, but also there were many people in the crew, and they were putting a lot of effort in making everybody feel fine and safe, because sometimes it was tough for some of the crew members, especially that they have to be under the sun for so long.
You also are very physical in this one, in a still suit. I don't know how easy those were to sort of walk around in. But did you have to take on any special training?
No, I said to him, I want you to put me writing one sandworm and not make me fight. I'm too lazy for that. I mean, yes, Stilgar is the leader, but he's a leader. Yeah, you know, like let them kill each other, but I'll be in the trailer. I'm so against my action skills. I mean, I'm so clumsy. You don't want me to see you fighting. If there's a thing of a third one that I hope there is, I don't know. I would love to tell you if there is. I don't know myself if there is. I hope. Maybe one little fight. So my little 14-year-old can see dad like fighting a little bit. But no more than that.
Can you fight from a chair?
Yeah. Like Steven Seagal, like that.
It's funny you mentioned that even when you were 17, you thought Stilgar was the role, because I would think most 17-year-olds would be like, I'm Paul. But it was never Paul.
No, never Paul. Never Paul. It was Stilgar, because I think, I don't know, I guess it's the Mediterranean flavor of it, like the Arabic roots of Spain as well. I guess there's some connection with that.
Well, you have the perfect Paul in Timothée Chalamet. He's just, I literally can't imagine anyone else playing this role. And we really get to see more of your rapport in this film, because you're not trying to kill him. Was that easy to build? Because he's such a dedicated actor.
It's very, I mean, you know how this is. It's very easy to work with great people. And there, in the first one, I had a little couple of scenes with him, and he was more insecure, I would say. That was year 2019. And it was a big role for him. And I think he was more insecure. When I saw him on the second one, he was more like he knew what his place and in the story was, and he took the place. And you can tell that in the last scene where he makes the statement in Chakopsa. He's fantastic, and he was like commanding. And him and Zendaya, and they are so funny, they are so brilliant, they are so smart and fast. It's like a show to see them, those two guys together, joking with each other. It's amazing how brilliant and intelligent they are, and everybody in the group was fantastic. So you go there, and all of them, they have done their homework, and it's easy. You just play with them, they play with you, and you go back home, and there's not much you can do, or it's already there, you know.
I mean, you have people like Rebecca Ferguson and Josh Brolin and
Josh is a different world. Josh, I don't trust him.
It does make.
I'm thinking about how many demands I asked for Denis that he gave me. I said, sandworm, not fighting, and one scene with Josh Brolin. we have to be together after No Country for Old Men.
That's right.
Because we never share screen time on No Country
never
for Old Men.
actually did. No. Even killed him. Spoiler alert. Sorry. It's been 17 years.
So he said, okay, I'll give you a scene. So we have this moment where I'm looking at the thing and
You requested that?
Yeah. He's like, we have to have one scene that we are together. Yeah.
So cool. Because I
love him.
He's so beloved by everyone. This may be a silly question, but in No Country for Old Men, did you spend much time on the set together?
We did, and he was my lifesaver because I wasn't going through the best time in my life when I was doing No Country for Old Men, and he was the one who take such a great care of me, and I mean he really put me under his wing, and for me it was my first movie in English with a whole American crew in Texas and New Mexico. So he's like, "Oh, okay." I wasn't used to be that isolated. Like I couldn't speak English very well, so I felt very detached, which I guess it helped for the character because the character is also detached in some way from the emotion. But inside, I was kind of very broken, and he saw that, and he really took such a great care of me. Aww. And since then, I owe him. I owe him so many things.
Did he ever make you take an ice bath? He's really big on ice baths.
I know. I saw that in SNL. Yeah. No. I won't follow. I would never get in a bath with Josh Brolin.
Oh.
Maybe in the third one, if there's a third movie, I said,
demand.
It's like, Denis, we need a bath.
Yes.
Those black baths that the
you have a new requirement for that film. Yes, to give you something every time. We were talking about leaps of faith, and I love this trajectory that your character goes on in Dune 2, where he becomes this true believer with Paul. Was it sort of fun to tap into that fanaticism? That blind up. I mean, there's so much going on because he's been told all his life to look for this savior, and I don't mean to make light of it, but it is also funny, like you said. Yeah,
absolutely, scary and funny.
Yes,
in the same time, and I think that's one of the main goals of the story, to talk about the prophecy and the blind faith and the fanatism and how manipulative it is. It can be blind faith on someone that it may not deserve it or something. And Stilgar represents that.
Yeah.
And of course, that can bring you to funny moments, like when he's talking to, you were saying before, to his people saying, no, he's a real one because he's denying it. So he has to be the real one. Very Monty Python, by the way.
Yes.
Very Monty Python. And that scene is funny because we were shooting a scene where Rebecca takes the liquid and she's like lying down, and I fight with Zendaya, which is great because it's the young generation versus the old generation.
Yeah.
Old generation, we want to believe, they are like, no. And then Paul says, I'm not the Messiah, I'm not. And I look at him, and then he said, why are you looking at him like that? I said, because I think Stilgar is trying to figure out if he's saying the truth or not, because he wants to believe he is. Mm-hmm. And he said, oh, that's a great idea. Let's play a scene where you say that. Okay. And then he took the camera on his shoulder. He gathered all these extras with those amazing faces. Yeah. They put it together against the rock, and he made me improvise in Tecumseh, telling them he's the real one. He's the real one. That's why he's lying. And so that scene, it was an absolute improvisation in 5 minutes.
Kidding, that's amazing.
Coming out of Denis' reaction to me looking at him in that other scene.
That's so amazing that, like, not only as a director willing to do that, but on a movie like this,
absolutely.
Where I'm sure he's,
absolutely.
Every minute is costing millions.
Absolutely. And that's absolutely, and that's the great thing about Denis. I mean, I never felt for a second the weight of this huge production, ever. He will be there and he will try things and he will give you the room to try different things. And you feel like, okay, this is a nice independent movie about aliens. Good. And then you go and see it and go, wow.
Yeah.
That is true.
We were talking about the still suit, but I am curious, all the preparation you can do for a character. How much does it help to put on the costumes, put on the face gear, the hair and makeup, everything to kind of, lock you into that role?
Absolutely everything, because you are in the right place. You are in the desert. You have all the makeup on. I mean, you feel the weight of it. and you see all those crazy sets that are real. What you've seen is real. Those are not touched digitally. I mean, digitally speaking, this movie has minor.
Wow.
It's crazy. So you will come in and you will see that, for example, that pool of water was like that. And it's like, wow. And that puts you right in the scene. Like that, for people that are living and dying under the hard situation of the desert, to have that pool of water because of the souls that have been dying, it must be very emotional for him. And because they build that thing for you, you as an actor have to earn it, you know? It's okay, they did a great job. Now it's my time to really give this the importance that it needs. And which is a good thing, because you have to forget about yourself. It's like you're telling a story, and that puts you in context with what the story should be about.
Yeah.
And not just you playing whatever.
You've played so many iconic roles and been, you're part of the, obviously the James Bond universe and now the Dune universe. And I'm curious, when people see you, what is it that they bring up most? Or do maybe they're watching Monsters and they walk the other way?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm such a nice person, right? Apparently not. I told you, I'm a dramatic actor. He said that when I was 6 years old. I was supposed to laugh and I cried. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm a sex symbol, and that's what she said. Why is that
funny?
And it's hard. It's hard because I feel like neglected. Like my beauty is not being shown as it should. No, what I mean is, I don't care. I want to work.
Yeah.
If it's a villain, it's a villain. The only thing that I want to try to do is to bring some humanity to everything. And even in Monsters, which I don't know if you've seen it, there's a moment where, oh, thank you, man. Thank you. There's a moment where he's asked, do you do that to your kids? And since we don't know, because nobody knows, the good thing that we were talking about that yesterday, is to play the character in a thin line where me as an actor, I should know. So I can have my opinion, but that doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not relevant to my job. So you have to play it in a place where it could be or it could not be. And that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And then that brings humanity. That brings interest in the audience. Like, wow, did he or did he not? I don't know, because there's a pain there that I don't know how to read. That's what I want to bring. That's our job as an actor, I guess, to make them reliable, to the audience.
I actually want to take some questions from the audience, and forgive me if I butcher anyone's name. What we were just speaking to, actually, I have a question from Thomas, who has very nice handwriting, by the way. Wants to know, what is your process for preparing to play a real person versus a fictional character, and what's been your most challenging role to date and why? Does the process differ?
Well, yes, you have to. For me, I think it's easier to do a real person because there's a frame. There are some limits that you have to focus on, right? And then you can destroy the limits once you are playing it, because once you are on stage or in front of the camera, that's your character. That character doesn't belong to anybody else but you, and you have to really own it. But it gives you a frame of investigation. When it's fiction, everything is possible, and it's a good thing, but it takes more time for me to make certain choices. The most demanding one, I don't recall anything being more demanding than others. I recall moments in every movie that will be like, oh God, here comes the scene. How do I do this? And what I've learned, being 55 years old now, is the more relaxed you are and the more you give up to your limits, knowing that you are what you are and you have what you have, and that's all you can do. The deeper you can go. When we were younger, when I was younger, you want to give it all and you want to make sure that everybody sees every aspect of the character in every line. No, that's not life. Life doesn't work that way. And so it's like, just relax, knowing that you will never get there. You will never be able to understand Hamlet. It's impossible. It's beyond our imagination. It's so deep and precious that you will never get there. So let's see what you can do with it. And yes, do your version.
Actually, you said something yesterday about being a terrible auditioner and how you would never get roles if you had to audition now. No. But you had to have been capable at some point.
In Spain mostly. And then in the States, I always refused to do auditions. And I lost some of big chances because of that, because I was like, no, if I'm already horrible in auditions, but on top of that I have to speak English, it's gonna be very uncomfortable for everyone. So but I've been lucky, and I've been chosen sometimes without an audition, which is crazy. But yeah.
Did you audition for No Country?
No. They called me and I went to New York to sit down with them, and I said, I don't want to make this movie. And they were like, ha, 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 ha. I said, no, don't. It's true. I want to make this movie. I hate violence. I don't drive. I don't speak English. So why would I do this movie? And I love you and I admire you. And I mean, Big Lebowski, Fargo, all these movies, Barton thing. But and they were, ha, ha, ha. That's why we want you, because you don't speak English, you don't drive, and you hate violence. You are so far from the character that we think you can do a good job with it.
Wow.
Okay. And then I did it. But so it's not that I did get an audition. It's like I fought against it. I fought against the movie that gave me a career.
So that's your advice to everyone. Turn down jobs. Why do you think you're bad? You just get nervous, or?
No, because I felt, again, we have to go back to 2005, like 19 years ago. And I just did Before Night Falls and a movie with John Malkovich in English and a little scene on Collateral with Michael Mann. And that was it. That was my whole experience. And they were offering me this thing that is so American, based on such an American author, Cormac McCarthy, in the deep America country. And I couldn't relate to that. It's like, this is not about me. And it's so violent. And I don't like violence. Whatever. Funny enough, when I was shooting No Country, they will give me the guns and cut. And that the guy gave me the guns, called me the Spanish ballerina. Bring the gun for the Spanish ballerina, which is, okay. And then I don't like, and so I read it. It's like, I'm killing people all over the place. I don't know. I don't see the point. But it's the coins. Yeah. So I thought, I'm sure they're going to do something great with it, but I don't see it. So that's why I went like, I can't do this. I cannot be killing people nonstop for no reason. And they were like, ha, 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 because that's what they do. They laugh.
Yeah.
They don't care. and then, thank God, I said, okay, I'll do it.
They knew. We have a question from Jason Fielders. Do you have a mantra that you use in acting or just in everyday life?
I try to. Well, when it's a real person, I try to ask for his permission in a very intimate way. Like, because at the end of the day, that's what we do for a living. We try to be taken by something else, no? And I'm not a religious person, but I believe in spirits. I believe in that we are more than this. And when I play someone that has been alive, I try to approach that in a more spiritual way, except for those who are very, very wild. Menendez and Pablo Escobar. I don't need to talk to them.
Yeah.
But when I play Reinaldo Arenas or Ramon San Pedro or other people that I really respect and I admire and had great souls, I want to. And also what I do every time is go back home and take a shower and let the water drain the scene and the character out of me. Like that was it. It doesn't help me to really go to sleep with the character.
Every day you have to just.
Every day.
Okay, you're able to leave it.
Yeah.
I believe it's Rosario. Wants to know, what important life lessons have you learned from a few of your characters? We'll talk the good ones.
I don't know. I think what we do for a living is to really learn how not to judge and how to understand so many realities and understand that we are all kind of the same, and it hurts the same to all of us, and it makes us happy, the same things. There are specific things that are different from one to another, but basically we are all kind of flesh and blood and spirit, and I guess judging less and trying to understand more. Mm-hmm. And that's what this job does, I think.
Absolutely. And I know I was going to ask you to tell us everything about Dune 3, but you say you know nothing.
I swear to God, I don't know. I don't
thought
know
it was
shit
announced.
about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it happens.
Yeah.
I think it should happen.
I mean, I would be shocked, honestly. Yeah.
But also, I can be killed in the bottle.
But not until after you get a bath with Josh Brolin.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
On the dark waters. I can actually fight with him with a little sword on the bath and do 2 dreams in one.
Get it all out in once. Well, I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of Stilgar, but I cannot wait to see what you do next. I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Remind you, everyone, this movie is streaming on Max, so you can watch it again and again on a lesser screen. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.